The race to AI dominance in 2026 is heating up fast. And you've probably been hearing the buzz about Elon Musk's Grok 5 and even Grok 6 dropping this year. With ChatGPT and Google's Gemini already dominating, you might be wondering if Grok even stands a chance, or if this is just another Elon hype cycle. Well, I've spent months diving deep into the research, and here's what surprised me. This isn't about who wins. It's about what happens when one company decides to play by completely different rules. And those rules could change everything about AI in the next 12 months. Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's coming with Grok 5 and xAI's massive push toward AGI. We'll look at how it stacks up against the giants, OpenAI and Google, and more importantly, why Elon Musk's approach is fundamentally different from everyone else's. You'll walk away understanding not just the tech specs, but what this AI arms race actually means for you and the tools you'll be using in just over a year. First up, let's talk about what makes Grok 5 such a potential game changer. Grok 5, the next generation. Imagine we're looking at the year 2026. The AI world isn't just moving fast anymore. It's in an all-out sprint. And at the center of this race is Grok 5, Elon Musk's answer to ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. According to everything we know so far from public statements and leaked reports, Grok 5 isn't just an incremental upgrade. It's being positioned as what Musk himself calls a massive leap. Here's where it gets interesting. Grok 5 is expected to pack around 6 trillion parameters. Now, if that number doesn't mean much to you, think of it this way. Parameters are like the brain cells of an AI. The more you have, the more complex thoughts and connections the AI can make. 6 trillion parameters is roughly double what Grok 4 has, which means we're talking about potentially much deeper reasoning and a vastly broader knowledge base. It's like upgrading from a really smart person to someone with an encyclopedic memory and the processing power to connect dots across entirely different fields of knowledge. But here's what really caught my attention. Grok 5 is designed to be fully multimodal from the ground up. What does that actually mean for you? It means you won't just be typing questions anymore. You can throw a photo at Grok, play it a video clip, feed it an audio recording, or even give it a live feed, and it'll understand all of it in real time. Think about that for a second. Previous versions of Grok were like calculators, really good at one thing. Grok 5 is more like a Swiss Army knife that handles anything digital you can throw at it. Some reports even suggest it could generate video content on the fly, essentially putting a mini production studio right in your pocket. The raw performance numbers are pretty staggering too. Experts estimate Grok 5 could be between 1.4 and 1.6 times more powerful than Grok 4 on most tasks. Benchmark predictions suggest it might hit 92 to 96% accuracy on PhD-level reasoning exams. We're talking performance that's edging close to human expert territory. And here's the kicker. Elon Musk himself said there's a 10% chance Grok 5 achieves AGI-level performance. That's artificial general intelligence. Basically human-like thinking across a wide range of tasks. Now, I'll be honest, 10% isn't huge. It's like betting 1 in 10 that your sports car will suddenly match a rocket ship. But the fact that he's even putting that number out there tells you how ambitious this project is. So just to recap the key points here, Grok 5 is looking at 6 trillion parameters, which is massive. It's fully multimodal, handling text, images, video, and audio with advanced tool use built in. And it's potentially 1.5 times more powerful in reasoning than its predecessor, pushing toward human expert-level performance on many tasks. That's the foundation. But wait until you see what xAI is building to support all of this. xAI's massive ambitions behind Grok 5 is xAI, Elon Musk's AI startup, and they're not playing around. Musk has been incredibly direct with his team. The next couple of years are make or break. In late 2025, He told xAI employees that surviving and scaling over the next 2 to 3 years could make them the leader of the entire AI race. Not just a player, the leader. He's even gone on record linking xAI's goal of reaching AGI with Grok 5's launch, suggesting that if everything aligns, we could see AGI as soon as 2026. Now, bold claims need serious resources, right? And this is where things get wild. xAI has already accumulated over 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs. These are the powerful chips that train AI models. They're gearing up to build what they call Colossus superclusters. And get this, in one almost unbelievable feat, xAI set up 100,000 brand new H200 GPUs in just 19 days. For context, that's a process that normally takes years. Musk has said that xAI is aiming for 50 million GPU equivalents within 5 years. He's even joked about having more compute power than everyone else combined. Now, before you think that sounds too good to be true, analysts are quick to point out that other tech giants are expanding too. OpenAI's Texas data center, for instance, is scaling toward a gigawatt of power by 2026. So it's not like xAI is operating in a vacuum. But the ambition is clear. xAI's strategy is aggressive scaling on a level we haven't really seen before. They're raising tens of billions of dollars to build mega data centers. Musk even jokes about painting macro hard on the roof of a new data center as a playful jab at Microsoft, but the plan beneath the jokes is deadly serious. Raw, overwhelming computing power to train and run these next-generation models. The key takeaway is this. xAI sees 2024 through 2026 as their critical window. They're betting everything on reaching AGI by 2026, tying that goal directly to Grok 5's release. They're building the Colossus project with about 230,000 GPUs now and targeting around 1 million. And they've got massive funding to back it up. xAI can tap into $20 to $30 billion a year, and they raised about $12 billion by the end of 2024 alone. This isn't incremental improvement. This is shock and awe. How Grok compares to GPT and Gemini. So naturally, you're probably wondering, how does all of this stack up against the existing heavyweights, OpenAI's GPT models, and Google's Gemini? Let's break it down across performance, accessibility, vision, and overall strategy. This gets really interesting because each company is taking a fundamentally different approach. Starting with performance, all three are genuinely at the cutting edge. OpenAI's latest GPT-5, which was unveiled in August 2025, claims state-of-the-art results across math, coding, science, and multimodal reasoning. Sam Altman said GPT-5 achieves what he calls PhD-level skills across multiple tasks. Google DeepMind's Gemini 3 is right there with them. DeepMind reports that Gemini 3 Pro outperforms Gemini 2.5 and other models on reasoning, coding, and multimodal tests, topping leaderboards with an ELO score of 1501. In independent tests, Google showed that Gemini solved about 37.5% of an advanced reasoning exam, compared to Grok's roughly 29% from the GPT-4 era. But here's where it gets nuanced. In a public math test called the Orca benchmark, both Gemini 2.5 and Grok 4 scored around 63%, just ahead of ChatGPT-5's 49%. So by late 2025, Grok's performance was roughly comparable to Google's, and actually better than early GPT-5 on that specific task. The thing is, these models excel in different ways. GPT is praised for factual accuracy and safety. It has about 45% fewer hallucinations than GPT-4. Gemini shines in multimodal creativity, and Grok's strength is live, real-time data access. The bottom line? All three are juggernauts. The competition isn't really about who's best overall. It's about which one's specific strengths match what you need. Now let's talk accessibility, because this is where the differences become really clear. ChatGPT is available through the web and mobile apps, with free and subscription tiers. Pretty straightforward. Google's Gemini is built right into Google Search, Google Assistant, and a standalone app, which means it's reaching billions of people. Sundar Pichai reported over 650 million monthly users of the Gemini app. That's massive distribution. xAI's Grok is unique because it lives on Elon Musk's platforms. Initially, Grok was a perk for paying X premium users. But by late 2024, Twitter, now X, made it free with usage limits. Now any user on X can access Grok. You literally just type iGrok in a tweet, and it responds. It's also available through standalone Grok apps and even in Tesla cars. This tight integration means Grok can potentially reach any X or Tesla user, embedding AI directly into social media and daily life in a way that ChatGPT and Gemini don't. The vision and strategy piece is where things really diverge. OpenAI started as a nonprofit with the mission to create AI for humanity, but it now operates in what's called a capped profit model with heavy backing from Microsoft. Their focus is broad AI utility combined with safety. They publish research papers, though some models and weights remain closed. Google and DeepMind leverage what they call a full-stack approach. They build the chips, the models, and the consumer products all in-house. Sundar Pichai notes that Google's aim is to integrate Gemini everywhere, from Android phones to workspace tools, in a carefully incremental way. They want AI to be seamlessly part of your Google experience, whether that's search, email, or docs. Musk's xAI is playing an entirely different game. Musk's personal vision for AI has always emphasized what he calls truth and openness. Yet in practice, xAI keeps much of its research under wraps. The company is structured as a normal for-profit startup, meaning investors can get uncapped returns, which is different from OpenAI's capped profit setup. Musk even sued OpenAI, accusing them of straying from their original mission of openness. Meanwhile, xAI is aggressively collecting what you might call exotic data, running simulations, pulling from the real-time X feed to train Grok. And here's the wild card. Musk plans to fuse AI with all of his other projects. Imagine Grok on a SpaceX rocket, integrated into a Neuralink brain chip, or running your Tesla. One analysis pointed out that xAI's unique advantage is embedding Grok across Tesla, Starlink, Neuralink, and X. OpenAI and Google simply don't have that kind of built-in hardware ecosystem to leverage. The bigger picture: safety, adoption, and the AI arms race. This massive AI arms race carries some serious implications that we need to talk about. Safety concerns are mounting, and that's where things get controversial. Remember, Musk himself has warned publicly that AGI could be dangerous, but critics are now saying that xAI isn't following the strict safety protocols you'd expect. In mid-2025, leading AI researchers publicly criticized xAI for what they called reckless and opaque safety practices. They pointed out that xAI released Grok 4 without any public safety report or model card. Documents that peers like OpenAI and DeepMind usually publish before major releases. There have been incidents. Grok has given anti-Semitic or off-color responses that alarmed experts. Even Dan Hendricks, who's a safety advisor to xAI, admitted that Grok 4 had dangerous capabilities that went unreported. So there's a growing worry that xAI's sprint toward AGI is outpacing the safety guardrails. This controversy is fueling calls for regulation. States like California and New York are considering laws that would force AI labs, including xAI, to publish safety test results and transparency reports. Some fear that without oversight, models embedded in cars or social media could spread misinformation or make harmful decisions unchecked. The race dynamic amplifies all of this. When companies are scrambling to outdo each other, safety steps can get shortchanged. And it's not just corporate competition. National leaders see AI as strategically critical. A 2025 White House report bluntly warned that AI breakthroughs could reshape the global balance of power, calling U.S. dominance in AI a national security imperative. Every major country wants the winning AI, from the U.S. to China, which is pouring tens of billions into its own AI chip industry. So the competition is fierce on multiple levels. Between Musk, OpenAI, and Google, yes, but also at the geopolitical level. When it comes to public adoption, companies measure success in user numbers. Google claims Gemini AI reaches billions, with over 650 million monthly app users. ChatGPT had around 100 million users by 2024. Grok's audience is smaller, but unique because it's embedded in X and Twitter. As Grok becomes free on X, more users will try it, and growth is happening rapidly. But rapid growth also means more scrutiny, especially when safety practices aren't transparent. And speaking of transparency, the companies vary widely here. Google publishes research and model details. OpenAI often releases model cards and evaluation methods. xAI has provided almost no public details on training data or safety tests beyond some blog posts. This lack of transparency is exactly what worries regulators and users alike. In terms of the global race, policymakers are treating this like an arms race. U.S. export controls on chips, for instance, aim to slow China's AI development, while China's own massive funding, including plans for a $70 billion domestic chip industry, shows just how strategic this has become. Each superpower and each company is pushing AI hard to maintain an edge. Grok on X, a new kind of AI in your social feed, a new kind of AI in AI. A key difference with Grok is where it actually lives, on X, formerly Twitter. From the very beginning, Grok has been part of Musk's social media ecosystem. In November 2023, Grok debuted as a beta feature for X Premium Plus subscribers. By late 2024, X made it free, with limited prompts for all users. Now anyone on X can mention eGrok in a thread and get an AI-generated answer. In effect, Grok is becoming a social chatbot at massive scale. This integration has big implications that go beyond just convenience. Unlike ChatGPT, which you visit on a separate app or website, Grok is directly in your social feed. It has access to the live stream of tweets, which means it has what TechCrunch called real-time knowledge via the X platform. If a major news event breaks, Grok can see the posts about it and talk about it immediately. Imagine asking Grok about today's trending news or a viral tweet, and it answers with the very latest information by drawing on tweets, trending hashtags, and ongoing conversations. It essentially turns the platform into a giant, living AI database. But this also means Grok could actively shape public conversation. If people start tweeting questions to Grok on X, its responses, which often include graphs, images, or jokes, could influence how topics are discussed and understood. Because Grok can generate text and images on demand, we might see new memes or stories seeded by AI appearing right in our timelines. On the plus side, it could help moderate content or provide context to counter misinformation. On the flip side, critics worry it might echo Musk's own perspectives or biases, since Grok's training and personality are tuned under his guidance. Essentially, having Grok as a public AI citizen on X could amplify ideas quickly, which is both a powerful tool and a serious responsibility. The timeline here is worth noting. Grok launched in November 2023 as an X Premium Plus feature. By December 2024, it became available free, 10 prompts per 2 hours, to all X users. In terms of function, users chat with Grok directly on X through text and images, and Grok pulls real-time data from tweets to inform its answers. The impact is that AI is now embedded into everyday social media. It could speed up information spread, and unfortunately, misinformation spread as well. Help people navigate breaking news, or potentially shift discourse for better or worse, depending on how it's managed. Musk's unique approach versus the others. Elon Musk's approach to AI has always been a bit unusual. He co-founded OpenAI back in 2015 with the stated mission to keep AI out of the hands of monopolists and promote transparency. But a decade later, he left OpenAI, feeling it had strayed from that mission. He's even sued them, accusing OpenAI of abandoning its original nonprofit, Open Mandate. Now with xAI, Musk is doubling down on his own vision. xAI is structured as a traditional for-profit startup aiming for uncapped returns, which makes it look more like a typical Silicon Valley venture than a public utility focused on broad access. The big contrast here is ecosystem versus ecosystem. OpenAI's AI lives in the cloud. You access it via API and apps. Google's AI is woven into the Google stack of products, but Musk's AI is intertwined with his entire fleet of companies: cars, rockets, brain chips, and Twitter. For example, xAI is reportedly working with Tesla to use Grok as an in-car assistant or co-pilot. SpaceX's Starlink satellites could one day host AI services globally. Even Neuralink, the brain-computer interface company, is part of Musk's world. The idea is a unified Muskverse, where you have an AI assistant everywhere you look in Musk's ecosystem. OpenAI and Google simply don't have that kind of built-in hardware infrastructure to push their AI into. Another big difference is transparency and culture. Musk often touts free speech and less censorship, and Grok was designed to be less, as he puts it, woke. It was marketed to answer more controversial questions that other AIs might refuse. In contrast, GPT and Gemini are more tightly controlled to avoid hate speech and dangerous content. Also, while Google and OpenAI publish extensive safety guidelines and research, xAI has been relatively secretive about Grok's training process. That secrecy is exactly why researchers have called it opaque. To sum it up, Musk is embedding Grok across his products: Tesla, Starlink, Neuralink, and X, which is a unique strategy no one else can replicate. The business model is fully for profit with deep pockets, whereas OpenAI operates under a capped profit structure backed by Microsoft, and Google is corporate-backed through Alphabet. Philosophically, Musk emphasizes what he calls maximally truthful answers, and gives some leeway for edgier content, while OpenAI and Google focus heavily on safety and alignment, sometimes refusing to answer certain prompts. Musk has openly criticized them for being too cautious, which tells you everything about the philosophical divide in this race. Conclusion: what 2026 might look like. So let's bring this all together. The AI landscape of 2026 could look dramatically different from today. Grok 5 and xAI, under Elon Musk's leadership, are charging ahead with unprecedented scale and ambition. We're talking about a 6 trillion parameter model with multimodal intelligence that could potentially reach AGI. It's being integrated into cars, social media, and potentially even space and brain interfaces. Meanwhile, OpenAI's GPT models and Google's Gemini are also evolving rapidly, aiming for ever higher accuracy and broader utility. The competition is fierce. It really is like the space race all over again, but this time for artificial minds. This rivalry is driving incredible innovation, pushing us toward faster and smarter AI. But it's also raising fundamental questions about safety, fairness, and who ultimately gets to control these technologies. For you as an everyday user, this means more powerful AI at your fingertips. You'll have smarter chatbots in your apps, tools that can help with homework, news analysis, creative projects, and even art generation. But it also means we all need to stay savvy. Are these AIs trustworthy? How do we understand and evaluate their answers? Regulators and researchers are pushing hard for more transparency so we can all see what's under the hood. Ultimately, Musk's xAI and Grok 5 are betting on an audacious vision. A future where AI is genuinely woven into the fabric of daily life. Whether that future turns out to be utopian or risky depends entirely on the choices being made right now, from 2024 through 2026. Choices about building in strong safety measures, about deciding how these technologies get deployed, and about who has oversight. No matter what happens, one thing is absolutely clear. AI is only going to get more powerful and more intertwined with our lives. By 2026, the tools you use every single day might be powered by Grok 5, GPT-5, or Gemini 3. In this new era, asking who will win actually misses the point. The real question is how we use and govern these technologies together as a society. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this deep dive insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content exploring the world of AI and what it means for all of us.